fulfilling all your wishes, you could design for yourself what would be the most ecstatic life.
Yeah, guess I gotta give from the jump.
My name, as Aisha Wells has so rightly pointed out, is Leinster Campbell, and I'm here from Len Capital Certificates. Today we want to talk about business, but how it relates to marriage. I've had some persons reaching out to me this week wanting to know what is the right step to take regarding marriage, and should it be relatable to business? Does it make sense? Does marriage make sense? Does marriage and business, coexist? Can they coexist? What decisions should they make in business as well as marriage? How does your business affect your marriage and your marriage affect your business? So as such, we would be talking about it today, the business called marriage. What I would often say to persons when they think about getting married or even starting a business is that both require you to give what we would say 120%. Now, to anyone who understands percentage, they would say, well, it's impossible to give more than 100%, But what I would say to you, if you give your all, if you figure out a way to give your all in your business or your marriage, the extra 20% is the things that the natural person or the average person wouldn't see. So when you're thinking about, in terms of a business, giving 100%, or in a marriage, you'll hear persons say, well, I'm not giving my everything just in case it doesn't work out. What I would say to you is, if you were to do that in the business world, a company like Len Capital Certificates, we would beat you every day because we go out there and we give 120%. That extra 20% is making sure that we stay on top of our business acumen in the way we deal with our customers, in the way we train our employees, the things that should be offered behind the scenes, more than just a great salary and a safe environment to work in. Training your employees is very important. With your marriage, the extra 20% can come from the appreciation of you being in a relationship not for yourself, but for the other person. And I think if you were to take that same approach and then correlate it back to business, it works out. So when you begin to understand that a business and a marriage, even though you might say it's two different entities, by definition, you would realize that a business is very much similar to that of a marriage, because you get involved not really knowing how things are going to work out. You have great aspirations, you may have a lot of faith, and you would take, in marriage they will call it a leap of faith, which is how I believe the anecdote of jumping the broom came about. In business, it's the same leap of faith by going to register your business, taking your money, your time, investing in it, and getting persons to also invest in your business as well as to patronize. So there are a lot of similarities between the two, and if you were to appreciate the way the business operates and you were to appreciate the foundation of marriage, I would say that if a person has a successful business, he can also have a successful marriage. And if a person has a successful marriage and they use those same formulas, they can also have a successful business. Because both require more than one person, unless you're what we would call a solopreneur, where you would do everything yourself. If you try to implement that in a marriage and your marriage will fail, you would run out of energy, run out of steam, and you would burn out, and the marriage will die. You would need both persons to give, and give openly and freely, and understand that as much as is given, the same amount or more will be returned. And in the business world, it's the same thing basically. Robert, could you put up the first image on business, please?
So this week the topic is business called marriage, the
Correct.
Billionaire mindset.
Correct. Yes. So I briefly touched on that one. Could you put up the other one, the second one? That would give the different types of marriages. So the different types of marriages, which I wouldn't go in too much about, would be monogamous, polyamorous, open marriage, common law marriage, and then what we know, the interfaith marriage. These are different types of marriages. But basically the concept or the base behind each of these are the same. They're more or less similar. Then we have different names for these types of marriages, such as, the holy matrimony, which belongs to the Christian faith. We also have the nikah, which belongs to the Muslim faith, and I'm not sure how you pronounce that last one, if it's riaya, but that belongs to the Hindu faith. We also have the definition for persons who are not certain. The definition of a business, I don't have it. Could you put it up on the screen, please?
This one? You have to do it, Robert.
Yeah, I want to give them the Google definition. Right. The definition of a business would mean the activity of making, buying, and selling goods or services. That's the definition Google would have given us for business. The definition of marriage is a legally recognized union of two people in a personal relationship. Now, I would switch it around by saying a business is a recognized union of two persons. If you go into a partnership or limited liability company or even a corporation, it would be the cohesion of different persons from different backgrounds with different technical abilities or different abilities, as it were, that would allow your business to grow. So if you were to bring that same definition from the marriage into the business, you would realize that it definitely could work. And vice versa. If you were to take the definition of a business, well, you would say selling of a good or a service in hope of making a profit, which that additional definition would be put there. The profit in a marriage could be different for most persons, but the basis would be longevity, because you're obviously not getting married to get a divorce anytime soon.
Right.
You're looking at longevity. You'd look at starting of a family. You may even look at the cohesion of assets, as it were. So the definitions can be intermingled, as it were, and once used correctly and based upon the definition, you would see that a marriage and a business more or less is one and the same. There are different types of businesses, such as the sole proprietorship. There's also the partnership. There's corporations, there's limited liabilities, and there's cooperative businesses. All of these basically just tell you the different ways in which you can run your business and operate, and all of these are successful in their own right. So a sole proprietorship may work for certain types of businesses like hairdressers, smaller type businesses. And I want this definition to be clear. A small business doesn't mean the size of the building you're in. It means the amount of employees. So I generally don't like to use the word small when I'm describing a business, because persons would tend to think, well, okay, it's only a small business because my space is only a 10 by 10, so I don't need to be as professional as a company who has 3 or 4 stories. That's incorrect. A small business would refer to the amount of employees you have. A medium business as well as a large business, it refers to the amount of employees. So the mindset that you should have in any business, whether it be a sole proprietorship or a cooperative, it would be one of providing a good or service to the best of your ability in hope of gaining customers, and they would exchange their cash or their fiat, as we would call it, for the good or service that you may provide. In a marriage, you would be exchanging names. The wife may take the husband's name in some instances. She may add it on to the end of her name, and she will now probably leave her parents' home. You may leave your home, and you guys are going to come together to live, cohabitate, and also copulate and do other things that married couple does. So with the business world, it's the same thing. Once we understand that a marriage and a business is very similar, and we use the same basic principles in working towards building our marriage, we're going to have a successful marriage. Because business would take a lot of time, a lot of hours, a lot of dedication. You'd hear persons, they would not miss a day at work. They would not call in sick. They would not take vacation days. They wouldn't lie to their boss. They wouldn't cheat on their job. They will follow all the protocols that are necessary.
I'm being asked a question. Someone is saying, how do you feel about your wife in marriage? The guy just sent me a message. Like, how do you feel about your wife working in your business place? He's had a terrible experience with his wife working for him.
Well,
I am
that's
shocked.
a tricky question, because I don't know, I wouldn't understand the basis of it.
Apparently, their working arrangements was poor.
And then the communication, as well as...
Probably put a toll on the marriage as well.
It would, because just as I was saying, we tend to think, okay, I have a business and then my marriage life is different. But as I was saying, which would answer his question. The protocols and the stringent measures we put in place for work, we're properly attired, we speak properly, we try, if you're a manager or supervisor or an owner, you make sure that you're not in the spotlight in the wrong or negative capacity, and you do everything by the book because this is your job, as it were. But in your marriage, you miss days, you want to take days off. I've heard men or even females say, I need a break from him, I need a vacation. If a marriage is a union, there should be no separation of the two. And those persons who are really good at their job, I'm sure even when you take a vacation from radio, you may not be here physically, but you don't stop doing that which you love, that which you're good at. You may be abroad. I know you said you go to London often, you may go to London. And I'm certain you may tune in, you may look at something relatable to the radio. It never stops. Any great person doing what they love, they never stop doing it. But when it comes to our personal life, we tend to take or give it a backseat. So for me, if I'm married, which it should be, where the Bible, for those of you who follow the Bible, would say, do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. It doesn't only relate to a marriage, meaning getting married, a husband and wife. It also means a marriage in business as well. If persons don't share your vision, your dream, they don't understand the goals that you have and the measures you've put in place to ensure a successful business, you would have, as that gentleman may have pointed out, issues in the workplace that may now translate to the marriage. So what I would suggest in that instance, you would need to learn, you would need to treat it just as well as your marriage, you would need to treat the business the same way. And then everyone needs to understand their role and function. I touched on it last week. I heard a guy say that his wife is the anchor of the company. And someone jumped up and said, well, you know, that's a low task to give your wife. The anchor is drop and drag to the bottom of the sea. But if you own a yacht, like I've looked at a yacht that was worth over 330 million US dollars, you don't want that when you need to stop, the anchor is not there. Without the anchor, that expensive yacht cannot fulfill its function as a yacht. And I don't believe the whatever what is that word, nautical authority that is in place would pass your boat inspection if there's no anchor. And in the marriage, in the business, it's the same thing. Someone has to be the captain. Someone has to be the person on top, the lookout with the telescope looking to see. There has to be a sonographer that can read all the instruments there. There has to be someone in the boat room. There needs to be crew staff. You need to have someone cooking. And it's the same thing in a business as it will with a marriage. So once you understand and you put these different facets into place, you should have a successful marriage and a successful business. Now, what someone would probably say is that, why is a guy who's talking about the billionaire mindset talking about a successful marriage? And I'll answer it by saying this. The billionaire mindset is not only about making money.
Gotcha.
Making money is one part of it, and if I only wanted to speak about making money, we would not have called the show, or Aisha would not have aptly named it the billionaire mindset.
Yeah.
The billionaire mindset is just that. It's a mindset that you need to have. And billionaires, we try our very, very best, on every front to be successful. So our marriage life is supposed to be successful, as well as our business life. And we tend to understand that our personal life and our business life is one and the same.
Correct.
So you having your wife work for you, or even your children work for you, it's supposed to be one of the greatest joys you can experience. Because that cohesion of family, like in our company, 98% of our board of directors is family. My brothers, my sisters, my dad, my mom. So you find that we understand when something is said, it's coming from a place of love, which is what a marriage is supposed to be built on. Well, so I believe. And with a business, if you have that same love and that same passion, that desire to grow your business, the persons that you have around you, supporting you, believing in you, pushing you forward, they're going to make your business successful.
Awesome. Can we take some calls?
Sure.
You can call us 342-0081. That's 342-0081. 771-1791. 771-1791. 4665-391. Somebody's asking, how do you feel about family getting involved in business? Extended family, aunts, uncles, cousins, or should it only be immediate family?
No, we hire strangers. There's a quote that I love: strangers have everything you want. And if you believe that strangers have everything you want, why not hire family? But you have to have the mindset that I have. And the mindset is to make this company successful. If you're seeing the same vision that I see, of course I have no problem hiring you. And because you're family, it should work better for me, because now I would believe if Robert is my cousin, I can leave the site, as it were, and Robert is going to hold on the fort, because I know I have someone who's there, who's representing me and representing that which I do. So getting your family involved is a very great idea. Even if you may have persons in your family, whether it be immediate or extended, that would require training for positions that you may have, feel free, get them the training, make them understand what the business is about, and take the time every day. It's something that we need to do every day with our employees, with our family as well. We need to let them know what's going on. You're not going to tell them every single thing, but you keep them abreast of what's going on in the company. And once persons understand and appreciate the value of what you're doing, they're going to seek their interest and, in extension, seek your interest as well.
Excellent indeed. Someone's asking for more information about Lend Capital certificates, some background information and contact number.
Sure. Well, Lend Capital certificates, we do business consultations, and we believe that almost any decision you would need to make in life, we have the ability to assist you in or point you in the right direction. If you need to reach out to us, our number is 324-LENN, that is 324-LENN, or 324-5366. We also have passive income opportunities through our partnership perquisites, where we allow customers to purchase one of our Precious Gems packages, and these packages start at $50,000 upwards. If you're interested in making over 20% or up to 20% interest per year on your investment, and you have $1 million sitting in an account somewhere in a credit union, feel free to give us a call, and we can assist you and give you some advice on how to allow that $1 million to continue generating income for you, so that you can use it in your marriage, or in your business, as it were.
Thank you. Someone is asking for you to explain the gem packages.
The GEMS packages are aptly named in relation to how much money you would have to invest with us. So there would be, well, before we had the Opal package, which was removed, but we now have the Emerald, the Ruby, the Sapphire, and the Diamond, which will be $50,000, $100,000, $200,000, and then $1 million. The different amounts or different packages comes with different interest rates. The Emerald interest rate starts from 5%, and the Diamond interest rate is 20%. And these interest rates are paid out on a yearly basis. So every 12 months, you would receive interest on the packages you would have purchased.
Excellent indeed. Let me see if we have any WhatsApp messages.
Could I do something a bit out of character?
Sure, go ahead.
Well, I know Robert has been recently engaged. Congrats again to Mr. Robert. I was wondering if he may have any questions that I could probably help answer or shed some light on. Yeah, putting you on the spotlight today.
Well, obviously, marriage is something good.
Mm-hmm.
And to always involve your partner into your business, right?
Right.
But pros and cons.
The pros and cons of having them in your business or not having them.
Pros and cons of having them in your business.
Well, I believe if your partner is equally yoked, there should be no cons.
Right.
Because that it comes as though where that scripture says if one can put 1,000 to fight, two can put 10,000. There's a horse, I can't remember the exact name of the horse, that if you train it, the one horse by itself can pull 7,000 pounds. They said if you train the two horses together, they can pull, I think is 14,000 pounds obviously. But if you train them from birth, they can pull 25,000 pounds. So with a marriage, I believe it would be similar.
Okay, so I have a follow-up question.
Sure.
Follow-up question would be, the Bible also says wives in submission to
Oh, you're trying to get me in trouble. Here, Robert.
So, when your husband give a directive in the business environment, and
Right.
the wife feel like, what are we talking to?
Well, I mean, I should not have asked Robert to come on and give any questions.
Yeah.
Well, in terms of submission, we all have our different definition of what being submissive is.
Yeah.
And I would use this for example. When I came onto the radio, I didn't know anything about radio. There's still very little that I know. So when I have to deal with you and Aisha in order to get advice on what program to use, what software, how do you look at the mic, where to watch the camera, what sort of clothes to wear, I have an open mind to the information that's being given. If I have what we will call soft skin, and I came, let's say, the background is green, and I love green, and I wore a green shirt, and you said to me, Campbell, where's that one, boy? You didn't use your brain today, you know, why you put on a green shirt? And I get easily offended, I miss the message.
Right.
The message is the information that was given, and because I understand that you have my best interest at heart, even though it may not have come across to me in the most appropriate manner, the information was important.
Yeah, you answered perfectly well.
Yeah. So with wives, it would be the same thing, or maybe it might be a husband, because there are situations where the wives are the bosses.
Yeah.
And we now have to go into the workplace, and she may be a tyrant because she works in an environment that's heavily populated with men, and she cannot be. I've heard Aisha carry on sometimes, but you know, there's the nice Miss Wells, and there's the correct. And when she's in that zone, if you appreciate what she's given you, and you see the value, like I tell persons, they'll say, "Oh, take the meat and leave the bone. The bone sharpens your teeth." So if I listen to what she's saying, not how she says it, then I'll get the message. And then I take responsibility for myself. If I put myself in a position for her to have to speak to me in that manner, then there's something I need to learn. But if I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, because she may have told me about the green shirt beforehand, and I may have just been careless and say, "Oh, I like green, you'll figure it out when I reach here," and then she louds me up on the air, I have to take responsibility, saying, you know what am I hoping to accomplish? I want to have a successful radio program, and Aisha is one of the best persons to do it with. So therefore now I have to, as they would say, swallow my pride, not try to focus too much on who's right or wrong, but what I'm going to accomplish. And if you have that same tandem, that same tangent in the workplace between husband and wives, bro, you'll be an unstoppable force.
Excellent indeed. We just have about a minute or so. You can go ahead and talk to the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
Well, before I talk to them, I mean, we've had two male point of views. I want to hear your point of view.
I'm thinking if couples are of the same mindset and they have the same goal, then of course two heads are better than one when it comes to business and, you know, operating and running a business. I always believe in family oriented type businesses. I've watched how other cultures have done it and see where it has worked for them. I think not enough of it is being practiced in our community, and it's time that we start. And if we can, according to you, hire strangers and trust them to run and operate and govern our business, why not trust family? And that we build and leave a legacy. So I'm totally support. I just believe that we should be of the same mindset.
We need to.
And whatever happens at home, we need to leave home. And when we're on work, we're on work.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was Miss Aisha Wells. Yes, well, again, the numbers to call to reach out to us is 324-LENN. That's 324-5366. If you like the topic today on the business called marriage, maybe you want to hear another point of it, another version of it, feel free to reach out to us, or you can also message the radio station. Is it okay for me to give them the numbers where they can reach you here?
Sure.
Let me sound a little bit like Aisha Wells.
All right, numbers are 342-0081.
342-0081. The WhatsApp number is 771-1791 or 466-5391. Let us know what you're interested to hear about the business world or the marriage world, because as I said before in the summary, to summarize our topic today, business and marriage is one and the same. A marriage should be called a business, and a business being called a marriage is no different. And if you understand the principles of either one, and you operate based on those principles, you will have a successful business or you will have a successful marriage.
That's right. I just saw a call. Let me see who's there. Caller, you're live.
Louis Aisha Wells.
Hi.
I'm here to attest to the fact that having a good marriage, you have to be dedicated. And I'm in it about 45 years now.
Congratulations.
Yeah. It was the first time I was able to get in, but I can tell you, I'm an ardent listener of 91.9 and your show especially. And I like what he did with Mr. Tabaki this afternoon.
Don't worry, we're coming back to that just now. Don't let me switch the gears. Don't switch it yet.
All right, bye-bye now.
Thank you, darling. Thank you so much.
Yes. So thank you, caller, for calling in. 45 years of marriage. Congratulations to him and his wife. We need to hear more businesses and
We have
marriages.
another one. Let's see
Another
who's there.
call.
Caller, you're live.
Good afternoon, Aisha.
Hey, how you doing, Mano?
Well, I'm taking some of the things. But you know,
Nice.
we tend to think there's only not we alone. Don't want a family business. I had some neighbors by me, Chinese. They want to see their cousins. They brother, nobody nearby that business at all. Because they tend to say, okay, let me see. I rather have what he told me. You rather have a horse and a carriage than his wife in his business. Because remember, wife have sisters, and when a sister somewhere, she something in that business. That's why I didn't want to see because he doesn't see nobody and nobody has to hire people. And his business succeeds very well.
Okay. I guess for some people it would work well.
Yeah, different formulas.
Different formulas, but again, it has to be persons of the same mindset.
Correct.
You know, I went into a Chinese restaurant recently, and the baby cashier. The baby couldn't be no more than 5 years old.
Already
And
training.
mommy's supervising, and daddy's the chef. And 3 of them is the workforce.
The workforce.
And the baby cashier. Chicken fried rice. And I killing myself with laugh because I'm thinking, this is no fun for a baby. A baby in a business whole day working. There's child labor.
Yes.
But go back a few years from now. A baby is running, well equipped, and operating.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. And
so-
the training comes in. I would often say to persons who may say, well, you know, children are too young to get into business. I have seen, which is not something we talk a lot about, but in different parts of the world, there are children fighting wars.
Yeah.
They train them to fight wars and deal with different things. So why not train your children to run and operate a business?
Caller, you live?
Good afternoon, Len Capital, Aisha Wells.
Hi, how are you?
Good afternoon.
Enjoy the program, but knowledge is power.
Correct.
There's a family, as an African man, we are as Africans. I have Chinese brethren told me something sensitive that a lot of times black businessmen doesn't like their wife to work in the business because they believe that, you know, they want to run the route and they don't want you to see anything. Right? But he told me it's basically a wrong concept because your wife actually will look out for you in your business.
That's
So
true.
if me and Aisha have the same concept, and Aisha knows that it's her interest, and me and Aisha together, hypothetically, she will literally watch my back. So I understand what he's saying. There's a family in St. James that sells doubles. Some Indian people buy Crosby's there. From the father to the teenage son, everyone is out, and they have the biggest doubles enterprise on the Western Main Road. So as you say, it's chemistry, but I believe that people who say no family and business, I don't want my wife around because I want to do this and I want to do that. You know where I'm coming from, Len?
Of course.
Right? He's saying that is a wrong concept why a lot of us have fall off in businesses in the African diaspora. She actually will look out for you, Aisha. Well, that's what she will do because it's in her best interest for the business to succeed. Thanks, Aisha. Well, and thanks, Len.
Okay, thanks so much. Thank you so much.
Yes. I'd also like to say this. I know we're out of time.
Yeah.
Even if you have your wife, your husband, children, cousins working for you, and something happens, an incident happens, a mistake is made, there's a bad day, as some would call it, it's not the end of the world. Training can take place, learning from it can take place, and once you understand and appreciate what has transpired and you learn from that mistake, as it were, your business will continue to grow, because any successful business would have had down days. It's what they would do to ensure that their business remains always open, deal with their customers appropriately, training of their staff. Same thing as in a marriage. It will determine how successful your business becomes. So don't think, well, okay, I have my husband working with me or my children working with me, and I didn't expect them to do this and they did that, and you just fire them. Take the opportunity to train them. Let them understand that the opportunity they have is now, as Aisha pointed out, legacy building. And
That's
if you're
right.
building a legacy, it's not going to come easy. There's going to be work, and that works on both fronts, in both marriage and business.
We still have calls, but we are so out of time. This
Yeah.
has always happened. Let me see if I could sneak in one more. Caller, you're live. Okay, we lost that one. So, guys, very interactive program today, I must say. You hit the nail on the head yet another week.
Thank
Keep
you.
it going. Closing comments.
Closing comments. Lend Capital Certificates. We're here to help the customers. We're here to help you with your business decision, with some personal decisions, to see how we can relate it to your finances. Also, if your marriage costs you business, or your business costs you your marriage, your formula is incorrect. And if you type in the wrong formula in a calculator, it will always tell you syntax error or E. It's the same thing with the business world, it's the same thing with the marriage world. The formula has to be the same, and there are formulas out there. There are persons who have successful marriages and successful businesses right here in Trinidad and Tobago. Lend Capital Certificates is one of them. So feel free to reach out to us. Our number is 324-LENN or 324-5366, and we'll be definitely there to help.
That I better watch what I say, watch what I do. Remember to pray, watch how I move. I got too much at stake, so I cannot lose. In this game that we play, I got something to prove, and I